Hello team, welcome to another virtual hockey session. Before we start today, let's do a bit of revision. Let's look at the three key aspects of our game style. Three key aspects are shown down here. The first one being a patient build-up in our half, and this is illustrated by the blue lines, which show some movements across the back, and we have looked at many details of how we set up from the back. The second key aspect of our game is the fast transition to the goal line, from our wing half to our inside, to our wing, to our centre forward. The third key aspect of our game plan is defence. We've already looked at the press, which we use in the opponent's half, and today we're going to look at the sweeper defence, which we use in our half when we're defending. I call this marking. Now, the idea of our system is that we double team, and we do this by using our free sweeper or up fullback to work with the marker of the opposition lead player who has the ball. In order to explain our marking more fully, we will look at our basics and look at three examples. And we need to do this because over the years you will have played many different methods in the back, defending. But we need to standardise it or benchmark it so all of us know what each other are doing. We all need to know what our expectations are of each other so that we can play together as a strong team. Now the basics of our game plan for marking in our half. Basics, first thing is we're without the ball, we've been turned over, the opposition have the ball. So how do we set up at the back? Right, well, we said we're going to play an up full back or sweeper. So we want Norm to move up to here to be the up fullback. I want Barry to move in behind him to be the deep fullback. So now we have the fullback sorted. Now we want to guard the centre of the field because that's the most dangerous part. So our wing half, Lib, move in toward the centre, as would Marg, the right half. So now we've set up covering the centre. So that's a good place to start. Now I've drawn these players in the positions that they move to. And you can see that our up fullback has positioned himself between the ball and the centre of the goal on this line, which is called the hot line. That means that Norm is ready when required to step up and take on the lead attacker from the opposition side. And that's part of this double teaming. Norm, before the ball gets into the circle, Norm needs to step up and work with the lead attacker's opponent. Now, as far as the marking is concerned, we're going to have Barry marking the opposition centre forward, Simon, or it might be Derek, depending on who. Marg will be marking the left wing, Bill, and Lib will be marking the opposition right ring flash. Now that's who they're marking. Now how do we want our players to mark? Well, we want to be in front, in touch and inside. So here you can see that Marg is in front of Bill, inside Bill, and she's close to Bill because we're down near the circle. She might be marking him in on line when things are further out, but back here she has to be in touch and close to Bill. She has to be standing there with looking at one eye at Bill and the other eye at the ball. So she has to position herself, her shoulders in the right direction as well as being in the right position relative to Bill and the ball. Because you can see that if you draw a line between Bill and the ball, then Marg forms a very shallow triangle on that baseline. Now that the same applies for Lib. You can see there, she's in front of Flash, inside Flash, and in touch with Flash, as is Barry on Simon. Now, for the double teaming, we have here lead attacker with the ball, and one of our players will be chasing him back. And this is where, before the ball gets into the circle, our player needs to chase this lead attacker back into Norm, so Norm can dispossess this player. Now, that's all for the basics. Next we'll talk about a few examples, which will tell you a bit more about the insides and the wingers and the centre forward and the centre half role. House. Now we're going to look at some examples of double teaming as part of our marking and as part of our defence in our half. Here we have in the green cloud, we have two of our team and one of the opposition. Everywhere else, well, we've marked up the opposition. Faye's drifting down the field, Karina's in chase of her, Norm steps up, Karina comes in and corrals Faye into Norm's trap, and we get the ball. So that's one example of double teaming. Let's look at another one. Here we're talking about a double teaming when the other team's making a wide attack. This double teaming is shown in the cloud, where we have Flash with the ball. He's pushed the ball past Lib. Lib's chasing him back. Norm steps up, and Norm and Lib trap him against the sideline, and we get the ball. Once again, everyone else has to be marked up, because if the ball, someone gets loose and Flash gets the ball to them, we're in trouble. It's close to their goal. All right, the last example is an example where the ball is close to the circle. Once again, everyone's marked up. Norm is our up fullback, and we have both Fleur marking Janet, her man, and she has the assistance of Norm, so that if Janet takes off around the line, Norm's got it covered. If she tries to come in straight for the goal, Fleur's got it covered. So that covers the examples. But before we finish, I would just like to say that over many weeks we've covered the three aspects of our game, being the build up in our half, the fast transition, the press, and the double teaming or the gang tackling. So now we're ready to go. We're ready to go back onto the pitch and to put some of these things into action. Have a good week. Bye.